Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Sean Hansel, and even though I've helped hundreds of thousands of people over the last 22 years as a fitness professional and best-selling author, I'm really no different than you. I'm just a simple guy who grew up in a middle-class family on a produce farm in a little town called Birch Run, Michigan, who somehow got lucky enough to marry the woman of my dreams. I'm also a proud father and a papa. It all began when Karen and I first got married. We were madly in love, running one of the world's top 10 personal training studio franchises in Ann Arbor, Michigan, helping hundreds of local residents get healthy and fit. All our clients would rave about how Karen looked at least 10 years younger than her real age. She was a lean, healthy role model for our family, children, and all our local clients. Karen was active her entire life. I remember how proud I was watching her work out. She would run circles around our younger clients, just one of the many reasons I fell in love with her. But even though Karen kept eating healthy and exercising, just like she'd been doing since high school, the second she turned 40, her body suddenly began to change. She started storing more and more fat in unusual places like her upper belly, arms, hips, and backside. Her menstrual cycles were irregular and she had insomnia nearly every night. Little did we know, these were all warning signs of the horror story to come. She exercised every day, cardio, cycling, bodyweight exercises. She slaved away in the kitchen cooking healthy meals for our family. I had her try everything. Keto, paleo, Whole30, vegan, intermittent fasting, counting points and macros, diet pills, you name it, Karen tried it. And every time she tried something new, she would always get her hopes up and feel a false sense of security after losing a few pounds. Then, by week 2, the inevitable weight loss plateau would rear its ugly head, leading to more disappointment and frustration every time she stepped on the scale. I didn't know what else to do. I watched her do everything right. I tirelessly researched the latest scientific studies to find her a solution. No matter what we tried, we could never get Karen over the hump. Slowly but surely, the weight crept up until she woke up one day with over 30 extra pounds of dangerous stomach fat wrapped directly around her waistline. Every time she would try to button up her jeans, she could see and feel the excess flab hanging over top of her pants for the first time in her life. It was slowly chipping away at the identity she once had, destroying her confidence and self-esteem. Karen was convinced her body was ruined and thought I'd never love her or look at her the same way again. It's really embarrassing to admit this, but our intimacy completely vanished. And no matter how much I begged her to make love, she was so ashamed she didn't want me to see her naked. She hid in the closet every time she got dressed and started wearing baggy clothes, and secretly hid all her insecurities as a result of her embarrassing weight gain. If you've ever felt shame, sadness, anxiety, uncertainty, or self-hatred because of your excess body fat, you're not. It all started to unravel at Karen's next checkup when the nurses noticed her belly was unusually bloated and hard to the touch. It was protruding outward so badly it made them suspicious, so they decided to run a CT scan. And that's when we discovered what was slowly killing Karen. We were waiting on the test results for what seemed like hours when her primary care doctor, Dr. Peters, finally came in to give us the bad news.
I'm sorry, I wish I had better news, but the radiation and chemo treatments have caused severe ovary damage and the excess weight is surrounding your heart and organs. Unfortunately, this isn't ordinary body fat. It's a deadly type of fat called acute visceral adipose tissue, or AVAT. There's no easy way to say this, but this dangerous type of fat possesses so many fatal health risks it's now known by the medical community as death fat. And it's currently found in the abdominal cavity in 7 out of 10 Americans. This means that 70% of the population has a belly issue that can increase their likelihood of early death by nearly 200%. Now, sadly, the visceral fat has pushed your blood pressure and cholesterol to dangerous levels, and it's dramatically increasing your risk for heart disease and stroke.
Dr. Peters went on to tell us how this deadly type of fat tricks your body into storing fat in overdrive, causing your belly to swell and bloat. If you're a man or woman over 40 and you can look down right now and you see 1 inch or more hanging over your waistline, chances are very high you suffer from AVAT, just like Karen did. It's a fact that's extremely concerning, and we knew it could steal years away from Karen's life if we didn't act fast. Karen was devastated, and I was beside myself. First, the cancer and weight gain, now AVAT. She kept thinking about our 7 grandkids. Would she live long enough to see them grow up, go to kindergarten, walk down the aisle, get married, and have kids of their own? Would we ever experience intimacy in our relationship again? Would we grow old together and see our golden years? All these unanswered questions haunted her day and night. It seemed like we had lost all hope, but pay close attention to what happened next, because it's the only breakthrough Karen needed, as proven in clinical research, using this 10-second remedy that can be done anytime, anywhere, to torch fat cells from your stubborn body parts. By this point, I was overwhelmed with burden and guilt about what happened to my wife. I felt like a fraud and a failure. After all, I was the fitness professional and so-called nutrition expert who gave her all the conventional methods we had used with our clients over the years. So I felt like it was my fault. All the passion and energy I poured into creating my best-selling online courses, all the direction I gave people on TV over the years, all the magazines I was featured in, all the lives I've transformed, placing first runner-up grand champion in the world-renowned Body for Life contest, all these accomplishments meant nothing if I couldn't find my best friend and soulmate a solution. I knew it was now or never. If I didn't help Karen heal her aging metabolism and get rid of her dangerous stomach fat, there was no telling what would happen to her health, our marriage, or our future. I kept praying every day, but had no clue God's plan to heal Karen was unfolding right before our very own eyes. It was a few months later when we went to see Karen's oncologist, Dr. Chan, for a follow-up cancer test and finally got some good news. Even though Karen was still dealing with extreme risk of AVAT being wrapped around her stomach, heart, and organs, at least she was finally in remission. Then, all of a sudden, something strange and unexpected happened. Something that would change everything, so make sure you listen closely. Right when we were leaving the doctor's office, Karen suddenly spotted a picture of a beautiful yellow flower on the wall. Although we were completely clueless at the time, this little yellow flower from Asia held the long-forgotten fat-burning secret that would flatten Karen's menopause belly and eliminate her AVAT. The picture had a tiny caption underneath with the letters AMA. Karen was curious, so she asked Dr. Chan what it stood for. She pointed at it and said,
AMA stands for Asian Mortality Advantage because that little yellow flower contains a special superfat that's been a longevity secret of my culture since the 1800s. But it was originally discovered inside the ancient tomb of King Tut over 4,000 years ago. Then, in 1978, researchers from the University of Wisconsin-Madison spent 9 years identifying over 200 studies worldwide for its ability to stop obesity and fight disease.
Dr. Chan reached into her file cabinet, pulled out a pamphlet, and handed it to us so we could learn more. But we were both just so relieved that Karen was finally cancer-free, we didn't give it a second thought. When we got home, I threw it in the junk drawer and forgot all about it. As the weeks passed, Karen was trying to be strong. Even though we caught the cancer just in time to save her, the damage to her body and self-worth was already done. It broke my heart, but Karen had already tried everything. Then, just when we thought we had exhausted all our options, our prayers were finally answered. You see, all the years of stress, the processed foods, the sugar and toxins leading to weight gain, trigger your body to release an enzyme that is responsible for the rapid storage of this dangerous belly fat, as found in 7 out of 10 Americans. It's called lipoprotein lipase, or LPL for short, and it's now known as the obesity enzyme because it sits on the surface of your fat cells and pushes fat molecules into fatty tissue for storage. And since LPL is produced by stored body fat, every pound you gain after 40 makes your body release more and more of this fat storing enzyme. So the heavier you become, the more LPL your body produces. This is what happened to Karen, and it's one of the leading causes of the obesity epidemic today. When you were younger and lighter on the scales, levels of LPL were naturally lower, so your body automatically sent fat to active tissue to burn it for energy. That's the reason it was so much easier to keep the weight off in your 20s and 30s. I'm sure you can remember, which is precisely why it doesn't matter how much discipline or willpower you have after you turn 40 years old. The second you slow down even the tiniest little bit on your diet and exercise, your body's fat cells start multiplying rapidly and the weight starts piling on. It doesn't matter how much you exercise or try to eliminate carbs, sugar, or gluten by attempting today's most popular diets, whether it's low carb, keto, paleo, or vegan. If you don't understand how to turn off this obesity enzyme, you will continue to struggle with excessive fat storage. But when you block LPL using this over 40 superfat protocol, you stop the storage of fat cells that cause AVAT and belly bloat, allowing your body to use them for fuel instead. And when you stop fat storage, your belly gets a little flatter and a little firmer each day, helping you look and feel years younger than your real age. You get smaller in all the right places. You'll also gain lean muscle, which means more calories burned each day, accelerating the fat burning process even further. And dozens of research studies show there's no yo-yo dieting effect. Then there's an amazing metabolism healing aspect that cools down inflammation, keeps your arteries clean, lowers cholesterol and blood pressure, and balances your blood sugar. It truly is one of the most researched discoveries I've ever come across in my 22-year career. As Dr. Chan alluded to, the secret is found inside the seed of that magical yellow flower from Asia called the safflower. which contains a special superfat called conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA for short. And not just any type of CLA either. It's a highly specialized, potent version, so powerful and effective at blocking LPL, it increases your belly fat burning capacity up to 400%. In other words, this special type of CLA superfat sends fat cells straight to muscle tissue where it's instantly burned for energy, helping any person in their 40s, 50s, and 60s quickly shrink their waistline, eliminate belly bloat, and prevent the storage of death fat. That's all Karen did to completely flatten her menopause belly and transform her body in record time. The benefits were so remarkable, it reignited the intimacy in our marriage, and we started making love again for the first time in months. Thank God! It was slowly putting a wedge between us, and now we were both finally on the same lovemaking page. What a relief. At Karen's next checkup, her primary care doctor gave her a risk assessment test and said she only had a 3.4% chance of having a heart attack or stroke in the next decade. He was elated, and we were blown away. Karen experienced a true miracle that stunned her entire family and medical team. She was no longer afraid of dying at a young age or worried about not seeing our 7 grandchildren grow up. It felt like 1,000 pounds was lifted off my shoulders. And let's not forget all the other amazing health benefits she started experiencing from using this CLA fat hack. Her achy, painful joints were renewed and rendered pain-free. Her brain was revitalized with clearer thinking. Her body was rejuvenated with younger-looking skin. And for the first time in 3 years, she started sleeping through the night. The hot flashes, chills, night sweats, mood swings, insomnia, and weight gain, it all starts right now by saying enough is enough. I'm ready for the transformation Lean Belly 3X can bring into my life. There's never been a combination of ingredients this powerful made available anywhere, and there never will be ever again. Boosting your metabolism and electrifying your daily energy with Lean Belly 3X is so simple, it will feel like it's too good to be true. Without slaving away on a treadmill, sacrificing your favorite foods, or following some strict, complicated diet. Of course, let's not forget the cellular level healing powers of this dynamic trio, like decreased inflammation, cleaner arteries, stabilized blood sugar, and protection from cancer cell growth. At this point, you're probably wondering how you can obtain Lean Belly 3X for yourself, along with the price for such a breakthrough quality formula. Both great questions. Because we only use premium, research-backed levels of each ingredient in Lean Belly 3X, combined with the cost of third-party testing in only the highest quality GMP certified manufacturing facilities, the cost to produce Lean Belly 3X is 400 to 500% higher than many of the low-quality, ineffective dietary supplements available on the market today. Beyond that, science shows the ingredients in Lean Belly 3X actually work at the precise levels included in this revolutionary formula. And we stand behind that claim like literally no other supplement does or ever will. What do I mean? Simply put, we are so incredibly confident that you will significantly flatten your belly, improve your health, and increase your energy as a result of using Lean Belly 3X, so much so that we back each and every bottle with our state-of-the-art, industry-leading, 60-day unconditional money-back guarantee.